Hey all, Fiorim here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm continuing the copper production for the mega factory. In the previous episode I set up a huge tower for copper powder, and today I'll tackle the copper sheets and copper ingots. But before we start this maths exercise, let me present you the to-do list. This was inspired by a certain popular Satisfactory YouTuber, and I wanted to have one for this project too. At the moment I'm kinda like halfway through the factory building process and over halfway through the copper offsite inputs. Still, so many things to do before I even can start the actual mega factory production, so let's get to it then. Of the 7 pure and 2 normal copper nodes that I've funneled to the copper production site, 1 pure and 1 normal are still available. They provide a total of 1320 copper ore per minute. Using the pure copper ingot alternate recipe that I also used in the previous episode, I can turn these into 3300 copper ingots per minute. This requires 88 refineries. The planned copper sheet production is 2500 per minute. With a steamed copper sheet alternate recipe, I can produce 2520 sheets per minute at 112 refineries, which requires 2520 ingots per minute. The remaining 780 copper ingots are sent to the mega factory, which, according to the plan, requires a bit over 520. And now that the production targets are calculated, we need to decide on how to build the factory. What I love about Satisfactory is that the only limit is our imagination. This time I went for a much more simple layout for the factory, mainly because special layouts take much longer to build and I want to make some progress. I decided to build a 2-story building where the ground floor contains the refineries for the copper ingots as well as the water extractors. The ingots are then moved upstairs together with some water for the copper sheet production. It would be possible to match the output of the ingot production, which is 37.5 per minute, with the input for sheets, which is 22.5 per minute, by producing ingots at 3 machines and sheets at 5 machines. However, since we are anyway sending the excess ingots to the main factory, I decided to organize the production so that handling the water becomes easier and that the layout looks good. As we have 88 refineries downstairs and 112 upstairs, it makes sense to organize them in 4 or 8 rows, as both numbers are divisible by 4 or 8. I decided to go with 2 rooms of 44 refineries each downstairs, with 11 refineries on each row and with the water extractors between the rooms. This matches the water output of one extractor pretty well. One extractor can supply a maximum of 12 refineries. To save some power, I can underclock the extractors a bit if needed. Upstairs the ingots are sent to 14 refineries, again on 4 rows and 2 sides. This equals to 112 refineries, which was the plan. 14 refineries requires water from 3 extractors, that again can be underclocked somewhat. The 14 refineries are able to use only 315 of the 412.5 copper ingots sent to them. The rest will overflow to a residual belt transporting the ingots to be sent to the main factory. This way we can have a nice symmetry on the refineries. Otherwise I will build the machines next to each other, not thinking too much about how it will look. However, I spent a lot of time tinkering with the way the factory looks on the outside. I used the signs as lights already on my copper powder tower, and now I'm experimenting with building a light band using the 1 meter by 4 meter signs. This is a technique that I want to explore more indoors, but I think you can create interesting decorative lights with it outdoors as well. In order to use the signs as lights, set the emission strength at 2 or 3, depending on how bright you want the lights to be, as well as the icon to blank and the colors to something suitable. I also emphasized the edges of the factory building with the steel beams, which you can draw at any angle using the freeform tool. You can also draw shapes on the walls with this technique as shown here. All in all, I think the building looks pretty good, although still a bit boxy. Let me know in the comments how I could improve it further. that concludes the copper offsite inputs. First box to tick on our to-do list and plenty more to go. So remember to subscribe if you want to follow the project. Thanks for watching and see you soon.